sometimes. Yeah, I think about the end just way too much. But it's fun to fantasize on my enemies who wouldn't wish who I was. But it's fun to fantasize. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. That's easy to say. We have a list of people that we would take. A bullet for them, a bullet for you, a bullet for everybody in this room. But they don't seem to see many bullets coming through. See many bullets coming through. Metaphorically, I'm the man, but literally, I don't know what I do. I'd live for you, and that's hard to do. Even harder to say when you know it's not true. Even harder to write when you know that tonight there were people back home who tried talking to you, but then you ignored them still. All these questions, they're falling like, who would you live for? Who would you die for? And would you ever kill? Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Oh, 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 I'm falling, so I'm taking my time on my ride. Taking my time on my ride. I've been thinking too much. 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 Help me. I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much. Help me. I've been thinking too much. I've been thinking too much.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is excited tonight to do our Wednesday winners. Ordinarily, we start at 8:03, but I'm going to do something a little, well, it's 8:03 now, so I'm going to do something a little different today. And you'll understand in a moment when we discuss what the theme is. But I want you to listen to something because I want you to understand nothing I or Mark or Jared or Aaron or Lake do, nothing matters if you're not ready. If you're not ready to change. Does that make sense to everyone? You got to be wanting and ready to change. So I'm going to share something with you. And as one of my favorite speakers, I love almost everything he says. So I'm going to share that with you right now. I'm going to go in the workplace. And I'm going to do this once again and make sure we got the sound going, right? And we're going to share a couple of things. So here's the first one. Let me know if you can hear it.
Daily that are based on what you want most,
Yes.
not what you want now. And that's really, really hard for a lot of people. And I teach that. It's like, just the simple filter is, does this decision get me closer to my goal or further away? And literally everything goes through that filter. What podcasts I listen to, what books I read, what I eat, when I go to bed, who I hang out with, who I date, who I don't hang out with, goes through that filter. Does this get me closer to my goals or further away? So there isn't an area of my life that's reserved, that's like, oh, that doesn't account for that. It's everything. Make decisions daily that are based on what you want most, not what you want now.
Okay, did everyone receive that?
Yes.
It's going to
Yes.
align with the topic we're going to talk about, because I know everyone that's here tonight wants to win. And everyone wonders every day, why am I not winning, or why am I not winning fast enough? So here's the second thing I want you to hear.
People don't change until staying the same is more painful than changing. That is why it's great to get into an environment that instigates change, because most of us won't do it on our own. And back check this, go find that aunt or uncle, and you'll go, oh, right, that's what this looks like. So you want to get around people who push you and challenge you. You want to get around people who are growing and get in that community if you're passionate about growing and you want more from your life. But you aren't going to get more if you don't become more. It's the law of the universe. People don't change until staying the same is more
Does anyone refute what they just heard? People won't change until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing. Can everyone agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
The topic I woke up with on my brain was, why don't we do what we know we're supposed to do? Because everyone here knows what they're supposed to do. And it's difficult sometimes when we're in the grind, when we're doing what we think we're supposed to be doing every day, and we come up short and we get frustrated. So, welcome to Wednesday Winners. I'm Nelson Alvarez. I am privileged to be your host tonight. Every Wednesday, Aaron Goodman is given the leaders of his team. And by leaders, I just mean the people who have achieved some success and are able to share how they got there with you. That's it. We're no better. We've just got a little bit further in the race and we're turning around and going, hey, I'm over here and here's how I got here. Would anybody like to know how that rich uncle in their family got rich? Raise your hand. Okay. So if he pulls you aside and calls you over to his house and says, look, I got some things I want to share with you. Would anybody not come to his house for dinner that day? We'd all come. And then when he starts telling you what it is, you'd be writing down feverishly. And the next day you'll start doing it. So if that's the case, why aren't you listening to your uncles here and aunts in this business? We try to tell you what we did to get here. So I just wanted to preface this meeting. This meeting we do every Wednesday. And every Wednesday, I know Mark and Lake and Jared and Danielle, we all struggle to try to find a message to give to you that'll resonate. So here's what I'm going to say. I just hope I touch one of you, if not all, at least one, with the message I'm going to bring today. So the introduction to what we're going to talk about today is nothing at all matters unless we listen to someone that's talking first, that's achieved something, and that's your growing up line. Whoever it is, no matter what I say, take it back to him or her and say, does this apply to me? Do you agree with what they said? Should I invoke these words and use it? Okay? So I want you to look at your business from an emotionalizing standpoint. Are you being emotional in your business or are you being logical and fearful and practical? We're talking about emotionalizing the sale. Some of us are not achieving our goals, Mark, because we're being so logical and we're doing everything we were told to do and say, and I'm going to say it the way I was told. Nelson said, say, well, what is there to think about? So I said that, and he hung up on me. Nelson, I said what you told me to say, but did you say it the way I said to say it? Did you emotionalize the words, or did you just literally say them? So Lake and I were talking about some of the topics that we could discuss today. And we're going to talk about how we can make sure that we're not transactional in our approach to our business. Can everyone understand what transactional means? I know you do, but today I'm going to do something really basic. And most of y'all know me. I'm very straightforward. I don't mince my words. I tell it to you like it is. And sometimes, like Sebastian Engels, I like him a lot because I can relate. He just tells you the truth. Sometimes you don't want to hear it, but he says it. Mark and I come from an area where that's just the way it is every day. But some people like to say their words softly. We're in business to make money, so I'm going to share with you how I've achieved some success and share with you what I did to do it. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share a Wednesday Winners PowerPoint. I'm going to do a little slideshow with you. I want to talk to you about, are we being transactional or consultative? How would your clients describe their experience with you? After they're done and they call their girlfriend, their brother, their uncle, are they saying, my goodness, this person was so cool. They really understood me. Did you develop a customer or a client? Does anyone know the difference? I'm going to help you understand. A customer is someone that you just do something one time and you just had a transactional relationship. They wanted a burger, you serve them, they got it, they're gone. But a client is like that person that comes into your Italian restaurant. They sit in the same spot all the time. They know when they come in, their seat's waiting for them because they're your number one client. They respect you and the experience you help them share. So ask yourself, do my clients see me as in the food industry? Am I just the cashier at McDonald's? I'll take a Big Mac and I'll order fries and a shake. Or do they see you as their server? Someone that's going to actually ask them, what are they looking to have? What do they want to eat? And they ask you your recommendation and say, well, for me, my favorite is this. And what do you like fish? Well, let me tell you what my fish clients always love to get. Are you that person? In the financial industry, are you the bank teller? Yes, I'd like to make a withdrawal of $100. Or are you the loan officer? The one that's helping them buy their home, that's helping them to actually build a family in that home. So they have to have the right size home in the right area. It has to be affordable. They're talking to you about everything you need to have a successful home. In the fashion industry, are you buying your clothes online through Amazon? Or are you able to go to a fancy boutique and pick things that are tailored to your taste? And in the insurance industry, are you a life insurance agent or are you an insurance consultant? That's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I want to talk about how you introduce your phone script to everyone. Are you talking to everyone in such a way that it sounds like you're robotically saying the words? I want to use as an example when in my phone script, I asked the individual, hey, I'm calling you about the form you sent in, blah, 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 blah. You remember that form, right? And if they say no, I send them a VDK. But do I tell them, well, I just sent you a picture of the form that I got it right in front of me. It looks like your handwriting. Are you arguing with the client? Are you saying, oh, geez, no worries. I just texted a picture of it to you so that you can receive it. This is your cell phone, right? Oh, good, good. Listen, let me know when you receive. But in the meantime, let me just verify some information, okay? Because I want to make sure I'm talking to the right person, okay? And I chuckle and I say, well, I understand back then you were filling out a lot of paperwork. And it's possible you may not remember the form. So while you're waiting for it to come through, let me see if this will jog your memory. You are Mark Spear and you live at 123 Pepsi Cola Street. Is that you? Now, do I just say, well, it says your name is Mark Spear. Are you Mark Spear? Do you see the difference between you're Mark Spear, you live at 123 Main Street? Is that you? I'm being a little cute with it. Say, and your mortgage, it's with Citizens Bank, and it's in the amount of $100,000. Now tell me, is that still you? Yeah, it is? Okay, great, great. And finally, is your date of birth such and such? And I think you're a non-smoker, right? Does that ring a bell now? And by the way, did that text come through? Is that your handwriting, sir? Do y'all hear how I'm talking to my client? Do you
Yes.
hear bringing the words to life? I'm actually taking the time to try to connect because my upline told me a long time ago, you must connect before you can pull. Are you connecting with your clients? Or are you just saying the words? Ask yourself that. It's important. It's important to know if you're connecting. Because if you're connecting, you're no longer doing a transactional sale. You're actually sharing with the client your best you. So I gave you an example with part of my phone script. I want to show you another thing. On my phone script, after I verify that and I set the appointment, I go into something that most people may or may not understand. I'd say to them, now listen, thank you for setting the appointment. I just want to go through some questions with you. My first question, and probably my most important one. Now hear how I introduced what I'm doing next. Is that how you're doing it? Or do you say, well, my first question and probably the most important one, when you filled out the form, what was your main concern and who were you meaning to protect? That's kind of a bland way to say it. Here's how I do it. Well, Joe, my first question, and you know what is probably the most important one that I've got for you today. When you first filled out that form, you sat down at the table and you put your personal information in. What was your main concern at that point in time? And tell me, who were you meaning to protect? A significant other? Was it the children? And if they say, oh, it was my kids. Oh, your kids, how old are they? Wonderful. I still need to find out, do you have a significant other? Okay, besides the kids, did you also want to protect your significant other? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. See, are you talking like that? Or are you saying, what was your main concern and who were you meaning to protect? Significant other, children? Well, my children. Oh, okay. Are you married? Oh, okay. What's your wife's name? We're going to get her some coverage as well. How are you talking to your clients? Are you connecting and sharing that you're concerned? Or are you merely just saying the words because your upline told you to book an appointment so they can help you close it? And you just want to get paid. Here's one of the most important things that I feel is, and I'm going to take a moment to pause here. I want to say, by a show of hands, who's sick and tired of working really hard to do their phone script, book the appointment, and damn it, it's a me show. That means you're the only one to show up. Who's tired and sick and tired of that? Okay, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Danielle White, unmute and do me a favor because I know you kick butt. What are you doing about the fact that you have, out of 10 appointments, you have 7 me shows? Now, you still made $3,000 for the week, but you had 7 me shows. What did you do about it yesterday?
So my first step always is to connect with my upline and tell them what I've been doing and where I think I fell short, and asking them for guidance based on what I told them on how it went. But then also watching Danielle Lyford's video again about the tie down and being totally, completely honest with yourself about, did you really do the steps? Because when I go back and look, I might have forgotten something. And that one piece in the puzzle, we're not perfect. We're all trying to do, the best that we can. But for me, my accountability is to make sure that I'm doing those steps in the tie down, because she's known in the company to have a phenomenal number of, closing. And I want to be better like that. And if I miss a step, like I didn't call or send a text, maybe, halfway during the day or whatever, hey, we have our meeting at 5:00. Is this still a good time for you? Or, whatever the verbiage is.
Whatever the verbiage.
Step, I'm ghosted. I mean, more than likely, I'm ghosted. And it's something that I had to personally work on and constantly be mindful of and try to be better, because I'm trying to work on my numbers. My October goal was to work on my numbers, not just AP, but actual issue paid.
I got you, and that's so important. It is very important to do everything you said, and I appreciate you, and I picked on you on purpose, because as I'm scanning, I'm saying, okay, who's a leader to be? And I know you're one, because you take what you're doing professionally. You want to engage your client. You want to make a difference. I want you all to examine your intent. I want you to know that success is like anything else. It leaves clues. And some people are chasing money. So if your intent is to create money, This is the problem. If you're chasing money, what must it be doing by virtue of the fact you're chasing it? It's running away. It's got Jordan sneakers on. It runs too fast. You can't catch up to it. So can I give you a secret? If you're being transactional, the money runs away too fast because you never create the proper byproducts. See, like when you burn wood, you create ashes. When you heat up water, the byproduct is you create steam. This is what happens. You can't escape it. Energy never, ever goes away. It just changes. So what you want to do is make sure that whatever energy you put out is changing into what energy you want back. So you want to be proficient, consistent, but you want to connect with your client, not create a transaction and have a customer. So if you want to elevate your game, you want the byproduct of your good quality performance to be the money. It's a byproduct of good service, of serving your client. But if you go into the appointment with the intent to make money, what's going to happen is you're going to create the wrong byproduct. You're not going to create the money. Let me share with you what we do to create the money as a byproduct of good quality service. Here is a tie down, an example. Your upline is going to share whatever they want you to say, but this is what my team is doing. After I do the whole presentation, rather my phone script, I'm going to go into this one last rant. One last thing, Mark. No, I've been picking on Mark all day because he's so easy to pick on. Hey, Jared, one last thing. I promise I will respect your time and the importance of protecting your family, marrying the kids. I get it. But I usually ask my clients is just to respect my time because I would hate for you to forget or just not show up and possibly keep this coverage from someone else, like a single mom with 3 kids who might need it more urgently than you. Does this sound fair to you?
Absolutely.
That's great. And I thank you, Jared. So listen, let me ask you something. I don't like to be that heavy, but I have to because it's important. Let me ask you this. Is there anything at all you can think of that'll keep you from our important sit down tomorrow to protect your family? Like a romantic dinner with your wife in Paris, or maybe you plan a flat tire sometime at 3 o'clock?
No, nothing I can think about.
Okay. So I look forward to helping you protect your family and making sure that Danielle and the girls are protected.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Nelson, while you're on the subject of how you say things and why you say things, why do you say sit down instead of meeting?
For the same reason I don't say appointment, I personally don't say accidental policy. For the same reason I don't say meeting. The reason you don't is name a meeting you were excited about going. Oh, I'm going to the PTA meeting. No, I got a meeting at the bank. No, nobody likes to have a meeting, but everyone loves to sit down and have a cup of coffee, right? So I want to make sure that I'm putting out the right word so the connotations attached will be in alignment with success. Thank you for bringing that up, Mark. When I was doing that with Jared just now, did anyone notice that the words were written, but I said more than what was on paper? Did anyone catch that? That's what being a consultant does, okay? We use this example all the time. You must first imitate before you can duplicate. What do I mean? Mark brought it up the other day when you're doing Jared, tongue-tied. Aaron said, he gave an example that I use. When you're learning the electric slide and someone is teaching you, you imitate the guy and in the steps, step by step by step. Once you got the steps down, you can get jiggy with and do whatever you want as long as you stay on beat. But first you imitate before you duplicate. So I say that because I've already learned the phone script. And now when it says, I want to help you protect your family, I'm going to interject your wife and the kids. No, I'm going to say Danielle and the twins. Because earlier, remember I asked, my most important question is, when you filled out the form, what was your main concern and who were you meaning to protect? I wanted to know his why. Because with his why, I can then talk to him about it and help him with his concern, his goals, his objective. Is anyone seeing the professionalism in my phone script? Or am I just reading the words? So ask yourself, how many of
100%.
you, thank you, how many of you are just reading the words? And you're not really bringing the words to life. This is such an important thing I'm talking about. And I don't want to limit it to just the phone script. Let's take it one step further. How about in the presentation? When I do my presentation, my second page is a soft close. Hey, Joe and Mary, we found over the years that when a financial or health surprise occurs, this is what most people worry about: losing their home, losing their income, paying the bills. It shakes the family's peace of mind. Joe and Mary, are you like most of the clients I serve? Yeah, I know. I agree. I worry about those things too. So the question is never if we need this. Oh, we know we do. Isn't the real question that we're here to solve tonight at, what is it, 8 o'clock? Isn't the real question we're here to solve is, how can we make this fit the budget? I mean, because if it was free, we would have been done when I called you yesterday to set the appointment, right? Guys, is there a mastery of my script? That's because I'm a professional. I'm not a salesman. I'm here to consult my client on the best thing I can offer him. So I've got to be a master of my trade, and I've got to convey to him, you can trust me. I know what I'm doing. So Dominic, if I'm worried about, okay, I got to say the words right. So do you worry about losing your home? Do you worry about, if I talk like that, Dominic, do I sound like I know what I'm doing? If I just say the words without emotions, do I sound like I know what I'm doing?
No.
No, not at all.
So am I worried more about how I say it than how they hear it? See, the way I did it last time, I wanted to make sure they heard me, they felt me, they understood I'm with you. But if I'm just saying the words and fearful, I am not being a consultant. I'm never going to develop a client. If it was just a McDonald's cashier and I'm kind of fumbling over the cat, they're like, can I just get my burger and go? You practice on someone else, and they leave. They don't care. But if it's my waiter or waitress and they say, sir, I would really like to make sure you have a good experience tonight. What are you in the mood to eat? What will suit your fancy? That's different than, do you want a Big Mac or do you want a quarter pounder with cheese? There's a difference. And some of you, I hate to say this, are treating this like you're trying to create a client, a customer, and you're never going to see them again. Treat your clients like you're going to see them again next week, and 6 months from now, they're going to remember you. And guess what? You'll take better care of being a consultant. So there's one area where I do that, where I show concern. Aren't we here to make sure this fits the budget? Well, great. I'm going to do this. If you agree with me, then I'm going to do this. We're just going to do 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't that feel fair? And by the way, I got to give 1,000% credit to my man, Mark, because he's the one that got me to change from doesn't that sound fair to doesn't that feel fair? How many of you think it's corny to go, does that feel fair? Put your hand on your breast and nod yes when you ask the question. Mark does it. Jared does it, Aaron does it, Diane does it, we all do it. But that's corny to you, so you won't do it. And then you wonder why you're not closing at a 90% close ratio. You're not willing to commit to your professionalism. I want you to vow tonight that not another night will go by where you sit with another customer. Oh, wait a minute, a client, and not give them 100% your all. So when I say, does that feel fair? And they say yes, look at the last thing on my page. Could everybody read that out loud? What does this say?
Let's get you
Let's
covered.
get you covered. Get you covered.
Let's get you covered.
Let's get you covered.
I asked them, does it feel fair? They say yes. And I say, well, great. Let's get you covered.
Get you covered.
How many of you do that on the second page of your presentation? Every single one of the agents on my team should be saying that. Let's get you covered. Well, then let's go. Y'all, anybody here want to go with me to the Super Bowl this year? I got tickets. Yes? Cool. Let's go. Is there any question what we're doing on the second page of my presentation? No. Here's one more area. I was with an agent the other day, and they're brand new, so I don't expect anything more. But they did their best, and they said, well, this is me, this is my family, this is the CEO, and this is the SVP, and that's blah, blah, blah. And these are my licenses. And everybody, I want you to know that the federal government has background checked me, and don't worry, there's nothing I can do wrong to you because here are my licenses. Does that sound like a good way to explain this page to any of you? If you've got a TV going on, please mute it. I appreciate that. My new agent did an awesome job, but she's learning how to express each one of the slides. Can anyone that's not on my team tell me what is the purpose of this slide?
Credibility, Nell.
I know you know, Jared. I was asking these newbies. It's credibility. But there's one thing I'm trying to get rid of. There's one objection I'm trying to get rid of all the way here on the fourth slide of my presentation. Anybody know what that objection that's coming down the road that I'm trying to get rid of right here? It's actually two.
I know.
I know you do. I said anyone not on my team.
Okay.
Come on, somebody volunteer. If you get it wrong, no one's going to beat you up. See, this is part of being a professional. Being willing to open up, be vulnerable, put your ego in your back pocket and let someone teach you something. But no, I'm not going to let them know I don't. Come on.
I'm sorry, Nelson. You want to build trust. You want them to trust you.
Yes, very good. This is Linda, right?
Yes, sir.
I recognize your voice. Here's the objection I'm trying to get rid of over here. Well, I'm not going to give you my banking. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, no way. I'm not comfortable giving my personal information. Do you know what I say on this page? When I describe it, I say, hey, this is me. Don't let my picture scare you. Here's my family. There's my chocolate mom. I've been taking care of her. She's got dementia since 2010, and I love her to pieces. She's 96 years old. She was my first customer when I got insurance. She was number one. And then this is the CEO of the company, Mr. Art Leeser from TLG, but this is my best friend right here because he taught me everything that I'm able to use to protect your family tonight. But can I tell you something? I know those pictures are great, but the most important pictures on this page are my licenses. Why? Because I've asked a lot of personal questions of you. You need to be comfortable with me. I'm going to be your agent for life, your insurance consultant. I believe you should know about me too. By the way, here's my address. Please don't stalk me. But y'all welcome to know where I live. I know where you live. And you know what? This is my national producer number. It's on every one of these. Why? Because the federal government has background checked me, fingerprinted me. They can even tell you the seltzer water I'm drinking right now. So this, get ready, guys. You ready? This is why my clients always feel so comfortable when we do the application and they give me their personal information. They know they have minds. Doesn't that make you feel good, sir? If I don't get a yes right here, I'm going to get a, I'm not giving you my social down there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Remember earlier I asked Ms. White, what did you do about that problem you had? And she explained it. Well, here's what I did. When I got 3 or 4, I'm not giving you my social. I'm not giving you my banking. I don't feel comfortable giving you my information. I said, Nelson, what are you going to do about it? Called my upline. And then I just sat down and thought about it. What they're saying here is they don't trust me. I need them to trust me. So let me give them a reason to. Can everyone see the professionalism in my presentation?
Yes.
Hey, Nelson, I'll add to that because, I do this, a similar thing, but I'll make a joke out of it. And I'll say, hey, you can see my address. Please don't steal my identity, because that's their fear, right? If somebody's stealing their identity, getting their bank accounts broken into, whatever the case is. So if you just cut it off and, and say, please don't steal my identity, and then just kind of laugh it off. Now, when you're filling out the application and there's the page for the producer information, you've let them see it. Don't hide it from them. You're putting in your social, last 4 of your social, depending upon the carrier, your address. And again, you could say, here we go again. I'm giving you all my information. Don't steal my identity. And they'll laugh with you. So when it comes time for you to ask for theirs, I don't have the objection anymore. I haven't had the objection in over a year.
Yep. And you know what? Your first job is to make a friend. Because that people want to buy from they know, like, and trust, right? Here's an example of this. I had a sale 3 years ago. Well, actually, it wasn't a sale. They really liked me, but it just didn't make sense to them, right? They had insurance policies that I couldn't beat. This was adding it on there, so they were in a good spot. But they liked me so much, they referred me to somebody else. Anybody want to take a stab at what that AP was?
Tell me.
5,542.
Big one.
Just because I made a friend. She still sends me to people to this day. She still sends me referrals. And she never even bought insurance from me. She liked me so much that she trusts me. Friends trust me.
I can't express any more than I have, Eric, Emmanuel. The emotions that I know it caught you off guard, didn't I? You're like, oh my God, he sees me. That's right. I see you. I see each and every one of you that were courteous enough to come on screen. Some of you are at work. I get that. And some of you are real shy. I get that too. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for most of you, you're just not getting on camera because it's easier to be off. But we keep telling you, this is the practice for you to get better. I told someone today, earlier, you won't believe this. Mark doesn't know this, but Jared does. Guess who was the biggest scaredy cat to get on a Zoom screen? Guess who was one of the last managers to do a meeting with his team on Wednesday like we do now? Guess who fought his upline, Aaron Goodman, on every time he asked him to speak?
No way.
Guess who called Mark Spear and said, hey, how's this Zoom thing working out for you? I remember, man, I'm like, wait, this is the guy that I look up to, right? One of the managers of the company calling me to ask me how this Zoom thing is working out. And I mean, I'll tell you, I was flattered, number one. Number two, couldn't believe it. But then, just like everybody else in this company, I shared with him what is working for me so that he could elevate his team and himself to the next level. And then he's poured into me. I don't know how many times. I was saying this earlier, Nelson, if let me steal a little bit of your thunder here. I was talking to a couple of agents and I said, you know, if I asked you to give me $1,000 and I would go make $10,000 for you next week, would you believe me? Yes. Would you do it? If I was sincere and I said, give me 1,000, I'll go make you 10 grand next week. Would you do it? Yes. Why? You barely know me. Well, that's because you're one of the top agents and you do it consistently every week in and week out. Okay. But how did I get there? Well, you followed the system. You called your upline. You skilled up. You were on every single meeting. You did everything that was asked of you that you're supposed to do to get to that level. Okay, great. Then why aren't you? If you believe in me, why don't you believe in yourself?
Bam. And that's what we're trying to do tonight and why I started with the 2 videos. You're not going to change until the pain of staying the same hurts more than the pain of changing. And the reason I shared with you, if you knew me and you knew who I really am, I'm very shy. Don't let me being brash and being loud scare you. My goal to be better than I was is bigger. I was told 24 years ago, when your dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And I bought into that. And that message was reiterated a second time by Aaron, starting in 2015. And I kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And so here I am 9 years later, and now I'm achieving the success that I could have done in my 3rd year. Here's what held me back. The fear of doing what I'm doing right now. Anybody see me as being shy today?
No, sir.
No.
I made my weakness my strength. That was a choice. And I chose to focus more on giving to you guys than, let me say it the way I practiced it. I'm more concerned in how you see me than how I look. I'm more concerned if you got my message than if I said it right. So what? I got a New Yorican slang accent. Who doesn't understand me? And in the beginning, I was concerned. I'm not speaking the King's English 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Eric Thomas said, so what? I'm going to be the #1 motivational speaker. Speak slang all the time. Again, I'll ask, did anyone not understand me tonight? I was more concerned with making sure you guys know there is a storm coming. Come November 1st, you're all going to hear this. I need you to get ready. Brace yourself. You're going to listen to me. You're going to get excited, Joe. And you're going to go out there and do the best phone script you can. And they're going to go, man, this sounds great. But can you call me after the 1st of the year? Can you call me after the holidays? And if I don't get you to listen to me now, half of you are going to get so frustrated, we won't see you again till about January 15th. So will you please listen to me now? We are here to help you be more charismatic, to be more persuasive, and to be more obedient. What are you talking about, obedient? Nobody tells me what to do. Listen, dodos, if you're obedient, who's choosing to listen to the rule? Who is it? Who chooses to listen to the rule and be obedient? We do, right?
And the
So
person that's hungry.
Right. If you are afraid of that word obedient, I'm obedient to the rules of my marriage. That's a choice. Do you understand that? You're in control. You're being obedient. I choose to be obedient. It's not someone ruling over you. I am obedient to the rules of TLG. I'm obedient to the rules of sharing knowledge with my colleagues. I'm obedient to the rules of don't train Mark Spears people. But Nelson, you coach them every day. I share knowledge and I always finish with make sure no matter what I say, You go back to Mark. I'm obedient to the rules of TLG. And in that obedience, I enjoy the power that comes from being in leadership. How about that? So I want to close this meeting with saying this. We should all strive our best to do this. I'm going to back this up. And I should have lined it up, but I got a little passionate about what I was saying, because I had somebody earlier today, which is what really drove this conversation with you. It was a message of, I don't need the hoorah, I just need the facts. Just give me the information.
And I was.
Go ahead, Mark.
Nelson, I was, you know me when I first came in, and I was just like that, you know.
You were.
And so this is for everybody. I'm a Boston guy, and up north, New Englanders, you know, from anywhere from Maine down to Jersey, you're just kind of bred to hate people, right? I mean, you always think somebody's out with a different alternative, you know, like they want something from you. They got an ulterior motive behind what their actions are. And so you're very skeptical and doubtful. And when I first heard Nelson start talking and teaching and getting on these calls, and I'm thinking, this guy's a cornball. You know, like everything he's saying is just so, it's so salesy. I can't be like that. I can't be like that. And the more and more that I listened to, it was about the delivery. It was about what he was saying, you know, what he was trying to convey to the client. And now, don't tell him, listen, nobody else tell Nelson this, but I use so much of his stuff in my selling system, you know, please don't tell him I said that. But I use so much of it in my system, you know, from telling me to talk to stuffed animals to practice. You gotta practice, you know, not on your clients, because then you're treating it like a hobby and it's just going to cost you money. And who would have thought that this guy from South Boston would sit 2 stuffed animals down on his couch and talk to them like Tim and Tina, you know? And I did. You have to understand that the system here is put in place for a reason, and everybody that's pouring into you just wants you to succeed. And like he said, it takes a severe hate of where you're at in order to want to change. And for most of you that know me, you know I went through a heck of a lot when I first came into this business. I went through a very bad divorce. I hated my job. I was working 80 hours a week. I really hated life. It was a nasty divorce. I lost the person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. And, you know, she left me for one of my friends. So it was very, very bad. I thought my life was upside down, and there was, you know, there was times when I thought that life wasn't worth it. Okay. If it wasn't for this industry, if it wasn't for these people, Jared Leifert, Aaron, Nelson, Danielle Leifert, and then being able to meet all these new people that coming in and help them, Diane Crump, Adam, you know, just being able to pour into people what I've learned, how it saved me, how it's changed my life, how it's changed my daughter. I mean, I went to, and I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but it's just, I feel like you guys have, like, why don't you get what we see? That's my message. You know, I took my daughter to the state fair, and I'm very bad at the games, but she wanted these stuffed animals and these big ones, right? And you know that people spend a ton of money trying to win these damn things. So I went up to the guy and I said, how much does it cost to win one of these things? Well, $5 for 3 darts, you know, $10. No. How much does it cost to win these things? Because I'm not going to be able to hit the damn thing. And he goes, give me $30. I go, okay, no problem. $30, right? And then I get up there and I missed, I think, every shot. Winner! He gave me this big stuffed animal. When she looked at me with these eyes of appreciation, gave me the hug. You are the best dad that I have. You're the best dad in the world. Thank you so much. All right, let's go do the next one. Hey, buddy, how much? $30. Okay. We walked out of there with 4 of them. Not to mention the food, not to mention the admission. And it was such amazing time. My leg, I had to walk. Now, most of you know my leg was destroyed in February. I went through massive reconstructive surgery. But I walked, because we went at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I walked from the North Carolina Museum of Art all the way to the fair, which was 2 miles. And I walked to get her there. Walked all around for 5 hours. And then walked all the way back. My leg was destroyed at the end of the night. I was in so much pain, but I would not change it for what I could deliver to her. And why can I deliver that to her? Because of this industry, this business, this system, these people. Please get what I see. Believe it in yourself. Believe in yourself, because if you believe that I can do it, $1,000, make it 10 grand. You can spend $1,000, make 10 grand for yourself. You just have to skill up, get with your upline, follow the system.
I'm about to do something. Diane Crump loves me for this. This is my superpower. But I'm going to take Mark's story and I'm going to share with you the difference between being a client and being creating a client versus a customer. How many stepdads or weekend dads say to their daughters, hey, I've already spent about $100, baby. We can't play another game, all right? I already did this, then the third. Come on, do you appreciate that I even brought you here? Okay. Now compare that little girl 20 years from now to Mark Spears' daughter. One guy created a customer daughter, but this little girl will only remember my dad. Oh my God, he wins all the time. When my dad goes to the fair, I feel bad for the guy that she marries. She's not going to stand a chance. She says, honey, you can't win that. When I was a little kid, my dad, whoo, every dart hit in the bullseye. I got 50 stuffed animals. That's all right, honey. I'll just ask Dad to come with us to the fair next time. I just want you to think of the difference between the two daughters 20 years from now. He created a client daughter because he had the vision of the future. And if all I got to do is pay $30 and then shoot the darts, I'm connecting with my daughter because I intend to have her for a lifetime. The other dad, he was worried about his bank account and the fact that she didn't appreciate that he just didn't have enough money to do what Mark did. And she doesn't appreciate that he gave her the little bit that she has. She's a spoiled little brat. Maybe I'll skip getting her every weekend after all. I'll do what the mom says. I'll see her every other. Do you notice how I just took his story and related it back to what I said in the beginning? Are you intending to create a client or a customer? It's what you do based on how you feel about what you do. Are you going to serve your client or are you just trying to get a paycheck? Destiny, you demonstrated to me the other day, you're here to make a client. And when you're recruiting, you're here to bring somebody on board and give them all of the stuff that you're getting from me and Lake and Aaron. You demonstrated you're a leader in the making by the way you related to me and to Lake and those people you were trying to hire. This is what I'm saying. I see you. I see you, Allison. I see you, Diane Crump. I see you, Zach. I'm just calling out the people on my team so that you guys understand I have that kind of client downline relationship. And sometimes you got to be hard. But I've got some crossline brothers right now that are growing. I want to give a shout out before I close this up to two people that stepped up to reach a new level because they get it. They want to be with the other leaders. Like Sebastian Engel said, get around the people that are where you want to be so you can move faster. I want to give a shout out to Angel Aloyo. He just became a key leader. He's on his way to district manager. He says, I see it. I want to be with you guys. I want to serve. Congratulations to Miss Tanya Parker, key leader. She's on her way to becoming a district manager. She calls
Thank you.
Diane Crum
Tanya.
her big sister. I'm telling you guys, Mark Spear, Jared, y'all have people that are trying to move up. They just don't know. They just don't know. They're not giving enough of their heart. Do what Mark did for his daughter. How much is it to buy this thing? For his daughter, and by the way, Mark, I've never thought of that. Now every time I go to the fair and see someone with the big one, I'm gonna whip out a $50 bill and impress whoever my date is.
That's the Boston in me.
I got it. I thank you. The New Yorker's with you now. Guys, I'm saying to you, he was more interested in connecting with his daughter in a way that no one else is going to. Be that to your client. And the only way you're going to do it is master your skill. Stop half-assing it. Don't show up to the next dial session and you don't know your objections. Don't show up to the next dial session and you're flubbing your phone script. Don't go into another presentation and just click the slides. Bring your craft to life and be the professional that Aaron has taught his leaders to be, because there's so much room at the top. And for those of you that were questioning, no, I wasn't having a drink. Here's my seltzer. See, seltzer. I wouldn't dishonor you guys and come on here to get having a drink. I'm here to serve you. I have a drink after, but I'm here to serve you now. So if you feel towards your client the way I felt tonight about you, I promise you, I'll see all of you over the top. See you all tomorrow and Friday at all the next meetings that we have.
Thank
you,
Nelson. Bless you, Nelson.
Thank you,
so much.
Nelson.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.